Welcome back, everybody. This is Kinema, and we're back on the Modsauce 2 server, hosted by Fanaqua, and back with the number 3 episode of how to play a Modpack. So I had this one I wanted to get into energy. Now, this may be a little long because I want to explain some different types. I've done quite a bit to my base here because I play a lot, and I've done a lot under here. You may notice it's completely different. Kind of rework some of this. Now I am using a belt that gives me night vision, so I have lit this up, but yeah, I still got some seconds on it. Oh well. But for recording, I'm gonna keep using that belt. So I moved some things around, kind of how I had it set up in the first 2 episodes. In this episode, it's going to be pretty lengthy because I wanted to get into a lot of basic power generation in this mod pack. So there are some other things you can do. By no means this is the best, but I wanted to touch on as many things I could and many features I could as far as a lot of the different mods that are in this pack. So first with Ender.io. Ender.io, I already talked about this a little bit, so I'm not going to go into it too much over there. It's the Stirling generator. This, you put coal or lava or different things in here. It generates RF, which is power, the redstone flux, and it will power some of your machines, for example, like the sag mill. I do want to take this because I do want to kind of show y'all something here shortly. So if you just type in generator, that's actually kind of the basic thing that you can do, and you find all these different generators. You have all these basic ones, then you can upgrade them. I am told the upgrades are really not some of these upgrades are, it's not worth it. I mean, it burns through stuff fast, and it does give you a lot of power right away. But sometimes having a bunch of the little ones seem to work better. But there's some other things in here. Recently, this pack did get updated, and it included Mechanism. Mechanism is a pretty cool mod. I don't use it as much as I'd like, but it's got some generation as well. So the Extra Utilities mod actually adds quite a lot of generators, and there's a bunch here that I haven't linked, that I haven't built, but there's some of these are some of your basic, like your survival one. And I don't know if someone else put a piece of coal in there. I put one. Where? Oh, is it still in the sag mill? Oh, it is. I didn't think it kept inventory. I put one piece of coal in there. It says 13 minutes, so unless my chunk says unloaded, it did kind of generate. Well, I could see. I put one in there, and I guess it generated 80,000 RF. Then I put one in here in this furnace generator. Higher power level, but it barely runs for that long. So you can see that it didn't generate that much, and it kind of burns through things faster. But it still generates the RF, or redstone flux. Your lava generator does the same thing. And all of these are pretty simple to make. Like Survivalist, it's just a piston is the more complicated thing. This block of iron takes a lot of iron. This gets a little bit more. It also takes a block of iron. The lava one. The solar one does take a diamond block, and this one I don't recommend, but I built it anyway, just to show you a couple things. So this was out in the sun a little bit. I'm going to pick this up as well, because, of course, we're underground. There's no sun. Now this is a food one. This one, I put one piece of mutton in. You can see it basically generated about 35,000 RF. And it goes, you can see power level 24. So if you have an abundant supply of food, or if you're playing a mod pack that, for example, the Modsauce 1 mod pack actually had this thing called a fish trap. Now I put tons of fish traps out and had it these item filter things pulling from them and going directly into a chest and stuff, and it actually just kept this thing filled with power of fish. You can also use this to power. I used it to power my own carrot farm. Basically, had a carrots being harvested with a harvester and then a planter planting them back. And also all that was being ran off its own power, so it was self-sufficient because it was using one of these things to power it with, because it would burn through the carrots. So this is another basic one, and this one also is pretty simple to build. Iron, and of course this one included a piston. Now we have these other solar panels here. These are what I'm currently using. That's what I recommend. I'm going to take those outside as well. I may not do the other ones. I may keep them in here. Not all this stuff's power generation. I do have this here, and the reason why I have this is you have to make this before you can make these two things, just because these require some certain parts, like these control circuits, and you need to make this enriched alloy. The only way to make this is with this infuser. It's just redstone and iron, so pretty basic itself. So to make most of the mechanism components, really this is what you have to start out with. So you need to build that. That's kind of like your main furnace or crafting table or something of the mod. You know, you have to make that before you can start making some of the other pieces. So I was using wind power for a while. It really didn't turn out to be the best. I liked solar power better. Their solar generators really are not the best either, because I mean they don't generate not as much compared to some of these other ones out here. So, and I'll go outside and show those in a second. But you can still use them. I mean, they're fairly easy. If we look at this, it's just this enriched alloy, some of this osmium. This circuit, it's pretty easy. It's this osmium bar, and really, if you put any redstone in here, it fills up the side meter, and then it does that and burns through it. So, all in all, it's actually pretty basic. The solar panels, these smaller ones, where's the smaller ones? Solar generators, it's pretty easy too. You make these little solar panels. You have to grind some of the osmium down, make one of these energy tablets, which are pretty easy. All of it takes that enriched alloy, and even these panels take the enriched alloy and panes and stuff. So really not that bad to craft. It's fairly easy, but they don't generate as much RF as some of these other mods do. Now I do have this thing here. This is a steam dynamo. Thermal expansion also has different ways of power generation. Now let's go to thermal expansion. So with thermal expansion, it has different ones: the steam dynamo, the magnetic compression. A lot of these use different features. I can't get into what all of them do, but some of them are a little bit more complex. And as far as some of them are good, I don't think it is as good as some of these other ones. So I wouldn't actually start out with them. I have seen people use this one a lot. This one needs water and then some type of a burning source like coal or charcoal or even wood or something, and to generate RF. So what times people will do with this is, you know, pump it full of water, maybe make a transfer node like this that does liquid, and put it over a water source, and then they'll kind of just pump water into it and then pump something in here. A long time ago in some of the older mod packs, Attack of the B Team mod pack, I used this and I did that, and I had this powering a tree farm with a harvester and a planter, and that would continuously plant saplings, harvest that, but then I had the wood going directly into a generator or a furnace, and the furnace was being powered off of its, you know, by the power that this was generating. So it was turning all the wood into charcoal and powering this. So it's a self-sufficient form of power, and I had a bunch of those. So depending on your mod pack, if you have mechanism, if you have extra utilities, if you have Ender IO, thermal expansion, you have different ways of power. You just kind of have to look at the different mods and see what you can do to generate the power the best. A lot of mods now do have Ender IO, mainly because of the Ender IO cabling is probably the best I've seen in most mod packs, and I'll get into that later. And And then extra utilities has a lot of special features, and that's in a lot of mod packs too. So this is a quick thing I set up. This is actually something I'm using. I'm not using it for power. I'm using it for something else. But this is a quick cobblestone generator. The water, ooh, did I forget a block there? Not that it matters, but I guess I did. That's probably, so water's going, this is down one level, so the water stops here. The lava comes and it forms, it touches the water and it forms cobblestone. This is a transfer node with a world interaction upgrade. This allows it to pick up the cobblestone and put it here, as you see. Then it's transferring it through these transfer nodes and putting it into this crucible. The crucible is that X Nilo. It's from that mod. You have to do a couple things to get it. You have to make porcelain or unfired porcelain, and which is just clay and bone meal, and make it like the cauldron in vanilla Minecraft, and then put that in a furnace. And what this does is it actually burns the cobblestone down into lava. And this is a liquid transfer node, as we see up there on the little details up at the top. And it's basically pulling the lava that this generates out and right into a lava generator. So this is a very easy way and quick way to make it a self-sufficient way of, you know, you can have this running into a couple of, I think we have one set up that's into about 4 crucibles, and those are all running out into about 3 or 4 lava generators, and that's actually generating quite a bit of power. So if you want a kind of a self-sufficient way, just that automatically fills the generators and you don't have to keep adding fuel, this is another good one. But then, you know, as like I said, I've been sticking with solar panels. So let's go up and actually look at some of these solar panels. And it's nighttime. Can't look at solar panels if it's dark outside. Let's go to our bed. I've upgraded my armor too. I have, in my opinion, some of the best armor out there. I just want to get that because these things take so long to grow. I haven't looked at all the armor in this mod, but mine takes a considerably long time to make, and it makes me very fast. Ooh. And hard to control sometimes. So it's daytime. So we have these solar panels. See, this is generating power. And then we have these other ones. Now you can see I've upgraded mine a little bit. I'm up to 4, I think. These, and you can see these are actually hold 4 million RF. They generate, right now it's generating 200 something RF a tick. And I have 5 of those. These are the basic ones. If we look at Solar Flux is the mod they come from. The basic ones are pretty easy. You just make 3 of these mirrors. It's just glass and iron. 3 of those, redstone and wood. And then to upgrade them to the next level, to solar panel 2, you can see you just take 8 of those. So it takes a lot. Like to make this level 6, you have to make thousands of these little level 1 solar panels. So it's pretty crazy, but this is amazing once you get up to this. I had this on Modsauce 1, and I had a bunch of them, and I had more power than I knew what to do with for forever. It took me a while to make them. I actually used Applied Energistics to auto craft them, so I didn't have to craft them myself. But it does take a while. So you can see this basic one, the capacitor you only need 50,000 RF versus those are 4 million. The upgraded one is 250,000, so a lot better than this. But it does take 8 of these to make one of those. Once you get up to those, it only takes 4, so pretty good. So the reason why I like these versus this one, you can see it filled up pretty quick. But if we put this next to it, you can see it's not getting power at all. So it's not pulling from it. If we move this out of the sun, See, now it's going up and it's getting power, and this is actually draining. Reason why is this cannot release power and charge at the same time. So this is only made for generating power during the day. Then at night it will run through it. The problem I have with these is sometimes, you know, if you're on servers with other people and they sleep and don't, you know, usually mod packs have some crazy creatures out there and people like to sleep and bypass nighttime. If you're doing that, things you have are never getting energy. It's just always getting, you know, the solar panels are just charging up and not releasing anything. So, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of these. And plus they take a diamond block to craft. And, you know, even though diamonds are definitely not as valuable in mod packs as they are in vanilla, I still don't like them. So these are very easy. It just takes glass. So you basically just find yourself a desert, a bunch of sand, or there's other ways to get sand. There's some, you know, way I'm doing. But basically get yourself a bunch of sand, get yourself a bunch of trees, and you can make these other solar panels very easy. So that's it for really for power. I thought it was going to take a little bit longer to explain everything, but go back down there and generate it. So I'm not sure, you know, I'm trying to go on these of different things that I've done between starting out for tools, starting out for ore duplication, and now starting out for power. So I may look into different machines. Machines are going to take up a lot more time because there's a lot of different things you can do out there. And I'm trying to keep this open to multiple mod packs. So I'm probably going to break those up with certain machines I find useful for maybe a mod pack at a time per episode or something. So got to figure out how to do that. I'm going to finish, you know, clearing all of this area up and making it look more like a tutorial room than just a open space. But yeah, so let me know what you think. If you have other ways of generating power that you use besides what I've shown here that you think it's good for someone just starting out on a mod pack to make, let me know. Post down in the comments. But I think these are some of the base ones you can do. And that's what these are. That's what I want to emphasize that again. It's basically for beginners. Not, you know, I know some people are advanced and they jump right in and they know exactly what to do and you know, make these things and get into advanced power right away. Like big reactors. I know big reactors is a power source. I'm not putting it on here because that does take some time to get one set up. Even the base ones, you got to get the yellowite or whatever it is. But no, this is basically for beginners and base power generation. So I'll get into some of the more advanced stuff a little bit later on. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully you're enjoying this series. I'm enjoying making it, enjoying playing on this mod pack. I'm on here a lot, as you can see by all the progress. Well, you can't see because you probably don't know the progress I've done, but got a lot of progress, a lot of stuff going on here, and I'll get into a lot of it as we go on. So anyway, thanks for watching. This has been Kinema, and I'll talk to you later.